Hello, welcome back everybody. This is Diana, and we're just going to be taking some time together to do some traditional artwork. Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna be working on some canvases, and we got quite a bit of canvases to tone. I found a lot of canvases in my room whenever I was moving stuff around to the studio, and we got different sizes, and then we also have this huge ass 3-piece canvas that we're gonna work on today. I'm coming out of work, and we still have more canvases. I think in total we have 12 canvases, if not 15, and I'm gonna try to think about what I'm gonna do with them, and I probably will end up reusing some of these. So yeah, let's spend some time in the studio together, okay? And also, if you can see in the back, and I apologize, keep looking, but that's the easel that we're gonna be working with today. It's one of my 2 easels that I have. It's pretty big, and just to give you guys an idea, like, that's where all of my wet media stuff is there. So we have our brushes, and it's gonna be really long, like, rough brushes that we're gonna be using today, as well as some shop towels or some car towels that you can get at your local, like, AutoZone or like car shop thing. It holds really well for cleaning your brushes with oil paint. So we're just going to be grabbing quite a bit of brushes here. I have very used old brushes from when I was in undergrad, and we're going to be using them today, as well as our trusty dandy handy bucket or container of turpenoid with a rough sponge in there. And I think I'm also trying to look here where I put the other stuff that we're going to be needing today, the other component for oil painting that is very important. I ended up grabbing a linseed oil, which is not what I needed, but I did end up finding the thing that I needed to find, which is going to be our liquin, and it's going to let us kind of do a really quick glaze to just start toning the canvases and just get them set up for painting later down the line. So you'll see here, I'm just going to put everything away, and let's get into it. I also ended up grabbing 2 palette knives that you will see here. These 2 palette knives will help me mix the colors later down the line. And then also we're gonna grab our very important container, air seal tight oil paint palette container. It's really big. It's been a hot minute since I used it. And before we actually do get started, and yes, I am in my pajamas. I ended up doing this over the weekend. I do have a habit of cleaning up all of my things in my space before I start working on stuff. It just helps me get into the mindset that I'm going to be working. Because it's my own personal studio, I gotta take care of it, and having a clean space does kind of help me just, be in a better headspace for just things in general. And it helps me be more motivated to work on stuff when things are clean. So here's the entire supplies that we're going to be using: our brushes, the liquin, the turpenoid, the paints, my crusty ass palette that I don't remember when was the last time that I used it. So for today's video, we are going to be toning some canvases, but first of all, I'm going to show you what the method to my madness is. And I did end up grabbing another palette knife to just kind of get all those crusty, dirty, dried up oil paint from the palette to start cleaning them up. It took me a hot minute. It really was stuck on there, so I really had to scrape it off a little bit. And it was kind of difficult to not feel afraid. Some of them do come off, and some colors come off easier than others just because of how they're mixed up in the tube, I guess. But yeah, I need to clean this palette up just to, one, give myself room to just put in the fresh new paint that I'm gonna be using to clean it up and just get all the crusties out and get all of that texture different, and also to just, you know, start getting into that mindset again, like I said earlier. Here you'll see me wet a little bit of the turpenoid on a shop towel, and I just start rubbing really rigorously, and you can see there some of the paint does come off, but yeah, I had to like get all that off. And I'm technically keeping that all in the box, just so one, I don't make too much of a mess, because I am mindful about my messiness, because I can get really like dirty with oil paints. And also just, you know, get stuff started. So I ended up taking a good while to just clean out the palette, and it's so pristine. And in a separate thing of aluminum foil, I put down the liquin. Now the liquin, what it's gonna do, it's like a binder, and it speeds up the drying process for oil pens, so you don't have to wait 2 weeks for it to dry. It can take a little bit longer or shorter than that, depending on the temperature and like the humidity level in the studio. But I do need that liquid in order to create the glaze. It's just more binder, and it's kind of like a filler too, so I'm just gonna be using a bunch of liquid just to get things toned. So the method to my madness here is to grab all this paint and just start making the color that I need. And I do have a method to how I lay down my colors. I like to use, I want to say like it's 6 primaries, a black, a white, and a brown. Just because the range of colors that I can get from that is so good. So, the more paint that I put on the palette is like what I'm gonna be using the most. So in undergrad, they taught us that you need a lot of white. Well, you can put like a dime of white and then every other color, and you can just use a little bit, because oil paint, it's just not that much that you're gonna be using. But for the amount of canvases that I need to paint, I'm gonna be using a lot of colors. So we're gonna be doing a lot of color mixing here today, and it is a skill that you have to practice and learn how to do. It comes more naturally with oil paints, because just oil paints mix better, I guess, question mark, compared to acrylics and watercolor. So this is how I've sort of learned to attune myself to color mixing and what colors I want. I tend to gravitate more towards cooler colors, just because like purple is my favorite color, and also green's really nice, but there's a specific type of green that I really like. It's not the chikorita green, it's more like a tea house green. But essentially, like, I'm just remixing colors here. So I had been having in my head that I want to do like a series of paintings, and since I have 12 canvases, or 15, I don't remember now, I wanted to do like cool mixture to just do like a darker type of painting, and a warmer mixture for paintings that are gonna be like warmer. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, essentially, like, I'm trying to tone the canvas to just kind of convey the type of atmosphere that I want in the painting, because the oil paint will come through, like the underlayers will come through, just because of how the material works and how you layer things. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do a maroon sepia type of tone, and then another mixture for like a bluish purplish one, and you can sort of see it, like what I'm coming up with. And now that I have my mixtures, I'm gonna like dab my brush. It's a flat head brush. I'm gonna dab it in the liquid, and then I'm gonna like pull the brush through the paint and see if I can get that consistency that I want. Hi everybody, this is my dad. He just came in because he couldn't really open like the white for me. So I had to like ask him, could you like open the tube for me, because I couldn't. It was really tight. And I did end up changing pants and putting on shoes because I had to like go buy more liquin and some more turpenoid because I was running out. And again, like I'm gonna go through this liquid pretty fast. I'm looking for the consistency of like a very light. How did my professor describe it that one time? Like the type of glaze that you want it to be more like a very light, like 2% milk type of consistency. You want it to be runny, but you don't want it to be super runny, because then it's more liquid than paint that you're using and it won't really like tone much. Because essentially what I'm trying to do is just get rid of the white of the canvas, and lay down a smooth foundation for the color and the underpainting that I'm gonna do. Because eventually I will do like a gray style type of underpainting before I finalize what I want. But as you can see here, like the consistency is not working out for me. And one, I didn't really mix enough paint, so I had to like remix my colors a lot. And then two, it's a lot easier to just work from your elbow and shoulder, and it's been such a long time since I've really done traditional painting that I'm doing a lot of stuff with my wrist, which I really shouldn't. I need to work from my elbow and from my shoulder, because again, like it's just more ergonomic and it flows better that way. But because of how I had the camera and how I was sitting, it was kind of uncomfortable, so I'm gonna try to figure out a better position to like do this. But essentially, like, this is the type of warm colors that I want for my canvas. So I'm gonna start toning some more, and I don't tone all 12 or 15 of these. I just kind of took a break because I only have 2 easels and I can only like wait for the paintings to dry like 4 at a time, because I can do 2 easels, put one other one on the cover of the palette box, and then I could put another one on the hood or like on the trunk of my car in the garage, just so it could dry without getting anything on it. But yeah, like I've been taking some kind of break here and there of just toning and prepping the canvases just in case, right? Because I had the idea, and I don't know how true this will be, or if I'm just going to be working on traditional art on stream, or if I'm just going to record the process. I don't know yet, y'all. I'm just trying shit out. I'm seeing what sticks. I'm seeing what could be fun to do for y'all. Well, mostly like I want to show you guys like what it's like doing the creation process and how I go about things, but I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with this painting. So I just started like painting because I feel like I just need to get back into it, you know? So as you'll see here, I'm doing like long strokes and like vertical and horizontal strokes. That's just so I can get a uniform color all around. And I do touch up on the edges because the edges I was brushing up on the like paint a lot, so I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any like really big puddles of paint. But essentially that's what it's happening. And see here, like you'll see that I've been using a lot more liquid, so I'm just trying to make sure that I have enough paint and liquid to cover everything. Now I do want to admit that now that I have the studio, I have the space to actually work on stuff, and it does help me get into the headspace a little bit easier. I do want to say that I felt that spark of like getting back into traditional because I had gone to the art sale at university, and honestly it was a flop, so I felt really frustrated, and I was just trying to like do something about it, you know, and just like try to find fun in it again. I stopped for such a long time and I really did enjoy it, but it does take a little bit of the preparation work to just get in there. So I started toning some canvases, and I think in this session I did like 4 canvases. And another session I did tone some other blue ones. I do need to tone quite a little bit more, but I do have a question for y'all. What kind of like oil paints do you guys like? Like, is there a specific type of painting that you really enjoy? Or do you just like do whatever? Do you prefer mixed media? Give me some kind of idea to see like what I could do just to get back into it. I do have an idea that I want to make a Zelda like series, but I haven't really like settled on the idea yet. Anyway, after finishing, painting for the session, I do try to clean up my palette, or at least keep it as clean as possible. So the first thing that you want to do to take care of your brushes is clean off as much as the paint that you can do, and you're gonna like wipe it off, and then you're gonna like scrub it in your turpenoid with the sponge in there. Now the container, it is airtight and it will keep the oil paints from oxidizing, so essentially I'm just trying to make sure that the paints are good to go for the next session, and so that way it's not me scrubbing and wiping away at the palette before like I have to like do another session. So that just saves like material, prepares for the future session, keeps me motivated to come back. And after you clean your brush off with the turpenoid and the liquin, you just wipe off the extra liquin and you leave stuff to dry. And regardless of how much I try to be careful about it, I always end up being messy. So yeah. Anyway, that was it for today, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this like little like inside look on the prep work of what it takes to make an oil paint. And a big thank you and shout out to my patrons. I love you guys. Without you guys, I don't think I would be able to do everything that I do here. So yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, you guys. Have a good one.